ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, TheScoreEsports.com, Mountain Dew, and ESEA.
Good evening, welcome back to the ESL Pro League. We have got just another set of games to bring you. We've got to see NiP and EnVy, and I'm actually going to be starting this discussion off with a very important question. This is actually very important for Yenko and Pansy. Who would win in a fight between Henry G and Sadakist? Physical fight until tap out, who would win?
Well, considering Henry never punched a man in his life, I think
well, I mean,
Sadakist...
not in violence.
Sado.
Sadakist
He played hockey, so...
Okay, yeah. So Henry,
I mean, he's got that kind of crazy.
But do you not think Henry's got? Like, I saw him at a couple of after parties. He has a crazy side. Maybe he could like become like kind of a bit animal.
No.
Crazy, but not violent.
No. Okay. Cool. Well, we've got to the bottom of that one. Sadakist would win in a fight. Let us know your other questions that you want me to ask in these guys over on the hashtag ESL Pro League. That's ESL Pro League all together, one word. Hashtag that. And I'll be asking these guys all the more important questions similar to that.
They could just tweet at Alex Innocent Lick Richardson, right?
Innocent Lick. I don't know where this came from. Did I say that? I said that. God, I am a shamble. I have eaten my ice cream and it was great, by the way. How was yours, Yenko? Was it good?
We were worried.
I was really good, Alex.
And he didn't eat it on stream because he's a smart human being.
I didn't put it all at once like you did, but I enjoyed myself.
Okay, no need to boast about my talents. I keep that one a secret. For now, though, let's talk about EnVy and NiP. Again, we're seeing Dust 2. I mean, what is going on? It's the Dust 2
And
party
Nuke.
at the moment, and Nuke, yeah.
2 Dust 2s, 2 nukes.
And just a reminder, the veto system does mean teams remove two maps each, and so we just keep ending up on Dust 2 and Nuke. I'm not complaining, I guess. Just what is there to kind of explore further in regards to NiP, EnVy, and Dust 2, as if you throw that in specifically? Lauren, I'm starting with you. I say Dust 2. Any of these teams like kind of feel a bias?
I don't even know anymore with these teams. Like half the time you'll see them doing really well, half the time you don't. Like they feel inconsistent. EnVy have looked really good recently, but would you say they are, you know, the Dust 2 champions of the world? Probably not. And they've got stand-ins coming in, I think, because MBK is going to be stepping out soonish. I don't know if it's for MBK.
Oh my God.
There's so many awkward things happening. It's like, how do you rate these teams?
They have a stand-in. It's Sixer standing in for Devil in this game, but he's going to be standing in for them at the Starlighter tournament instead of MBK, whose brother is getting married or something of the sort, right? So they have a stand-in, but not for the player that they actually need for the LAN tournament. On the other hand, I guess Devil can play for some other reasons. On the other hand, Disco Doppelman is a sub for NiP instead of Pit, who is injured. So we have
everywhere.
So what
duel
can
of
you
the
read?
subs. But I think that from what we've seen so far from NiP, they don't really seem phased too much by having to play with Disco Doppelman, not just in a sense that in his individual performance, but also that they as a team still execute some of their strats, right? It seems like they just told him what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, you saw that specifically on Cobble as well. He can actually fit into the set pieces they like to bring. So again, he has been clearly picking up what they like to do, and actually it's quite nice to have him as an AWPer here. He's not particularly leading the fray, and I'd say maybe picking it above Forest on occasion, but he's been holding his own. However, Kenny, on the other hand, has been really coming into his own, which probably means that Disco Doppelman's not going to have a whale of a time.
I mean, that's certainly a factor, considering just how influential we saw Kenny S can be a while ago, and it was a while ago when we got to see the vintage Kenny S. I've just seen something quite breathtaking, actually. You look at the lineups head-to-head. These guys, admittedly, with various roster shuffles, but in their majority, EnVyUs and NiP, NiP have won 10 of the 11 maps they've played. 10 of the 11 maps they've played. You're nodding as if that makes sense, but I mean, EnVy at one point were a team to be reckoned with. 10-1, that's
was
mad.
a long time ago, Alex. What's the last game you have there?
Last game's ECS. It was 2 offline games.
I mean, the first game.
The first
actually,
game. Oh, that was way back in Dubai.
Yeah, and that was actually the tournament where NiP was rumored to have roster changes and everything, and that's when they just played with no pressure and knocked out EnVyUs. And from that time, they didn't play that many times. I mean, 10 times in a year, it's not as much, I would assume. But NiP has been much better in 2016 than EnVyUs has. And also, I guess Sixer here is an unknown quantity for many. He played in 1.6 as well. He played for teams like Millennium in the French scene. And, you know, towards the latter part of the 1.6 era, he was actually the best AWPer in France. So he was really proficient, not super flat. I mean, he was kind of a mix, right? He was flashy, he had those aggressive moves and aggressive playstyle, but he could also play passively when needed.
So you describe him as a bit of a 1.6er.
Can we just not?
Go, Lauren, you had something to say.
He's lost.
That was good. Come on, that was a good one. Oh. No? Okay.
I was going to bring up the point of Apex having massive impact recently.
Yeah.
Again, this is quite the interesting factor, is that if Envy have one of their big players show up, I think it's going to eclipse what we've really seen from NiP recently, who've been playing okay. They've been seeming to be able to, just kind of coast through, do pretty well. Freiburg having some good games, Exist doing well. Here and there, people just playing okay, but no one's gone to that superstar level that we've seen Kenny S, Apex do recently. So it could be another individual performance thing here again, which works quite well on Dust 2, but we'll see if it actually pays off, because it always feels like who's turning up on the day at this point, because no one's consistent.
But can't this be applied to NiP as well? I mean,
I don't think to the same degree of 40 in a regular game.
Sure, I know, but I mean, in the sense you're using these expressions like, we know what they're capable of. They've got these all-star qualities. Could you not apply the same to the likes of Get Right, Forest, these legendary names in CS that haven't actually been on the grand final stage in a while?
Yes, but when you look at NiP and their the good results they've had in 2016, when you look at the scoreboard, it's rarely, Get Right and Forest having 30+ kills, the rest of the team trailing behind. It's really evenly spread out across the board, which just adds more to the philosophy that they have structure now, that they don't have to rely as much on individual performances, but more on, the play style the Threat has devised for them. And that's why Lauren talks about EnVyUs as, in this particular matchup, especially with a stand, they kind of have to rely more on either Apex or Kenny or maybe someone else stepping up individually, because they don't have the same level of structure per se.
Because NiP, when I look at them on Dust 2 specifically, they got pretty well known for that kind of A-take. They do the really nice pieces with the smokes coming through. This was when Threat kind of came in.
What are they doing with the smokes? So
it's just an A-take, but it's just really well placed. It allows them to drop CT. They do the
Alex,
rumbish.
and they pop.
What, with the left click on the mouse?
Like they aim it up, towards the sky most of the time.
Right.
And then it kind of arcs over and it lands and then it goes off.
And it obscures vision.
It can do.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
So it's like a wall that's not actually normally there.
Building a wall, Alex. It's
building a wall.
That's it.
Makes CS:GO great again.
Really cool. A really cool thing that I saw from them first in that A-take with the smokes and everything is the molly they throw. Freiburg throws it, if I remember correctly, and it falls on top of the single box. The one box where people plant for long platform or the safe plant behind it, right? So that forces the operator, if he's on ramp, he can't really stand close to the ramp.
Oh,
he has
seen that.
He has to go all the way back, which leaves him exposed because it's a much wider angle, even to flashes, but as well to the terrorists pushing in through CAT. So you can see that they're innovating stuff as well.
Actually, I remember you pointing that out to me. Last time we were sitting down watching NiP on Dust 2, I remember you saying, because you could basically see the AWP as you sit there, and they have to work it out. You have to basically think quickly. You either make yourself vulnerable to CT and short, or you just have to back up and try and hit the shot. All with one Molotov. The power of utility. We'll be seeing if that does come into it. Now, though, it is quickly time for predictions, as our Observer PC has got the hamster running again, and we'll be able to jump into the game very shortly. Now, 10-1 in favor of NiP. EnVyUs have won one map in the history of these two teams meeting. I assume that makes predictions quite easy.
Yes, I would say NiP, unless Envy gets some amazing individual performance from their stars.
So fingers crossed for Apex and Kenny.
Yeah, they need one of those win conditions to come in, as in massive individuals. Simple as that. As a collective, they're great. They are still a very good team. There's no disputing that. But the win condition for me is, if Envy ever want to have a chance, it has to be one of the big hitters to have one of those going off games. But NiP across the board should be able to pick up Dust 2.
And it's a good map to do that. I mean, Dust 2 pretty open for players like Apex and Kenny. It's not impossible.
It's not impossible. However, it does seem like the desk and the majority of the stats lean towards the Swedes in this exchange. Let's head over to the casting duo, though, as they do dive and guide you through Dust 2. It's none other than Henry G and what's his name again? I don't know.
Funny stuff as usual.
Who am I?
Your name's Sadakist.
Where am I?
And you're living in Germany for the next 2 months. I hope you enjoy it.
Are these mine?
Yeah.
I think they're yours. There's a little bit of residue on them. That's got to be yours.
I think, judging what the stains you got on your shirt, I don't want to know what's there. That could be.
Is this my shirt? Maybe it's yours too.
Well, we have Mr. Pistol. There was a bit of an issue with the Spectator PC, so it currently is 2-0 in favour of NiP on the CT side. We have paused the match there. So they did win the pistol. It was actually quite a convincing one as well. Forrest picking up 4 kills.
Why are there people shooting guns?
They're playing a computer game called Counter-Strike Global Offensive. It's very popular. It's created by Valve.
Oh, is this that Pokemon Go thing?
No, that's a completely different and more childish experience.
Gotcha. But they're wearing pajamas. That's pretty childish.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that constrict a ninja's movement?
It depends on the pajamas. It's one of those like gowns. You can actually have like...
Well, does it have a butt flap then?
Maybe, in your case.
But that's not so I can go to the bathroom.
No, definitely not. Well, we are back into this one. No, we're not. Still paused, but you can see, as I said, it was NiP picking out the pistol, and they got the second round as well. Looking at the money, it may not have been a full force buy from EnVyUs. It's still quite a significant amount in there, but there's 4 UMPs available for NiP as we go to round number 3, and 4 in the hands of Forest as well. Yanko's not happy about something.
Who's Yanko?
He's a guy that talks about Counter-Strike and Pokemon Go, actually.
Oh, I've heard about that Pokemon Go game.
Don't you play it every day?
I don't. Yeah, I do. 4 kills for Forest after a pistol round.
Yep, he got 4 on the pistol.
I'm not surprised. It was the USPS, Henry.
It was. Happy, only player to find kills so far from EnVyUs. That's actually the pistol as well. It was a 5-on-1. He managed to pick up 2 kills with Deagle. So it gave him some cash, made it a little bit interesting.
Here's a legitimate question. Who is Sixer? We saw him at Assembly.
What team was he playing for that?
Millennium.
I don't remember that.
Fox,
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, that's the team with FXO who comes in. Obviously banned from full competitive play, but still trying his hardest. He actually had some reasonable results there. He will be replacing MBK at the Starlighter event. Not Devil, who's replacing this time. Devil's internet was down. MBK is going to an engagement party, so he can't get to the LAN.
So one getting engaged, one getting married. Sixer will step in for all the romances because he's forever alone. But today he's together with EnVyUs, and you should envy him because finally he gets a chance to shine. Against Forest, no less, though, who's done exactly that on the pistol, starting things off. 4 kills for him overall. This time it's Disco Domplin, though, that will take down Sixer. So the battle of the subs. Well, favored so far by NiP is Exist will get 1 kill back to equal it out on 3s. The last 3 remaining at long right now. The flash comes around, but Team NiP able to get back around the corner. This will limit Exist onto the car position, so Forest has to stay close by to give him some support. They don't yet have the confirmation that they are both in pit. Now they do. Forest will have seen both heads. 2 gophers in the hole, and they'll just play some whack-a-mole as they wait for the rotation to come in from long. It's Get Right with a UMP. Same UMP that Exist has.
Pretty simple affair there. They do drop 2 frags, NiP, but overall pretty smooth sailing here as we go into round number 4. Have a look at the money for EnVyUs. Could get the glass cannon they wanted to. I think, Kenny has actually got body armor as well, so a bit better than I anticipated. First gun round, you can see NiP still have 2 residual UMPs there. Apex with a decent long spawn as well. He could take that, but looking like he'll actually focusing towards B with 2 of his teammates. And yes, fires off a shot through the smoke there. Doesn't land anything this time. And we'll see if there's any aggression in the CTC. Like I said, 2 UMPs almost suggest they have to try and work a little bit harder here, flashing over, trying to push into the tunnels perhaps. Forest and Get Right holding towards B. That's what Get Right will have one of those aforementioned UMPs. Holding on the platform for now. As Forest flashes towards middle. Maybe you could try and face and get a bit of intel here. Yorp is in the hands of Disco Doplin. They have a sub for NiP. Well, Pitt is injured.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting thing. How long is that injury going to preside for them? And you know, what happens when he does come back? We've talked about, you know, potential changes on NiP. Regardless, they've just got to irk through the start of this season and make sure they grind out a few wins to keep themselves in contention. 3-0 start. Decent situation in that sense as a flash comes through. Exist. He'll wait this out. He's got Get Right to try and play some support as we see a counter flash thrown by him, but no one peeking on that. Good smoke covers off Disco. He has to give up this position at long, and they'll have to give up Catwalk as well with a double drop coming in. No rifle support. We saw it. Exist and Get Right, they were near the doors. So it's Apex that walks in cleanly to find the first kill, but now Get Right's come back over, and Disco Domplin again wielding the AWP finds 1, but overlooks the possibility of a late flank from long, and that's exactly what happens as the bomb goes down. And it's 2 versus 2 double up, but Kenny S with one of them. He's got a shot. As Exist falls, he'll fall down. Kenny S is very good, by the way. Watch his mechanics. As soon as he shoots, instantly puts his head down. He's less easy to hit, and exactly that. Get Right can't close the damage as he falls away, and Happy's already secured on the long platform. Kenny is extremely good at that.
Yeah, nice execution from EnVyUs towards the A side there. And you saw Doplin, he fell out towards the pit, and of course it's Happy lurking in towards the end. We said they're going back to basics in terms of the roles, the EnVyUs lineup, and he's holding towards the long doors, times it to perfection. As soon as Doplin finds a kill on A, Happy lurks out and finds that kill and puts Get Right in a really horrible situation. Like you said, Kenny S is delaying things as long as he can, fires up a shot, looks into the floor, denies him any sort of vision, actually gets back towards short. And now it's round number 5. Still there's money available for NiP. All in the hands of Forest this time instead of Doplin, so Interesting to see how those roles are changed up. Double orb set up for EnVyUs as well. Kenny and Happy.
Yeah.
Happy does like an orb, we do know that. There's been some questionable decisions and
Does it make
some
him happy?
Some of the...
Nothing triggered me more than when he became primary over Kenny.
Yeah.
You don't bring in the best offer.
Was that
at the time he wasn't, but
was that the one where he's like using wall?
It was around that time. It was when the slump was really at its peak.
Yeah. It was like Matchday Mirage where Kenny would be rifling and Happy would win the AWP. That was a strange era for sure.
Well, Forrest, AWP, just waiting for them to walk in, but it's going to be double AWP coming against it. First one goes down. It's Kenny that goes in first, oddly enough. Happy trying to play off of that. It's going to be pursuit onto Get Right, pushed out of the door by a flash, and Forrest has to come up with the angle. He has to play behind this double stack and find it. He's got 2, plus the assist as that one went through and caught the arm of Apex as well, allowing Get Right to collect it. And guess what, Happy? You're known for this. You pick up a secondary op, you let Kenny go first, and, well, you were in the tunnel, but yet you're the last alive again. We don't want to see these habits continue. We know Happy. He's got to get involved, and Freiburg will take him down to make it 4-1 now for NiP.
Yeah, Envy not getting much out of the default. They actually decided to go towards the B side with Kenny S walking in first with the AWP. Doesn't actually get much for it. It's going to be Forrest stepping up this time. Good positioning from him. Gets that first kill, flashes off, takes away any sort of chance of a refrag. Faces again and hits 2 really nice shots with the AWP and brings it to 4-1 in favor of the Ninjas. And it's going to be a full reset for EnVyUs as well. So just Deagles this round. Then he got $1,400, $1,900 the next. So it could be the double Eco had almost said. It's almost certainly going to be that. MBK has fully invested into this one. He's got himself a Desert Eagle, body armor, no grenades whatsoever, but it will be residing outside the long doors. Doppler, though, is going to get aggressive towards that area and just lock them in. With no flashes or smokes, it's going to be almost impossible for them to overwhelm him. So back towards the middle they go. 6 on his screen right now. As you mentioned before, he is the actual sub of EnVyUs. He will be filling in for them at a LAN. It's not just for this game. He'll be replacing MBK as starter. But tonight, Devil's internet is broken.
Apparently it's been broken for a long time, according to Reddit.
Oh, run boost.
This is
always
great
fail.
run boost. That's you know, you got to start toward the back so you can actually
Try
take
again,
a
lads.
step.
With the Glock, just get in.
Yes, but he was kind of all right. It gets him around quad. They get the bomb plant out of it, which is the intention to get him there faster. It's actually kind of cool in that sense, but wasn't exactly graceful. And Freiburg, he's gotten 3 kills, 2 kills. I take that back. Sorry, Forrest found the first one. There's just too many Fs, and that wasn't even Forrest. It was Disco Doppler. I can't read.
Well, to be fair, the run boost, I guess it gets exactly what they want.
The bomb plant,
They want to get the bomb down. That actually happened, so you know, we criticized it, but it works out for them. Can't argue with that. 5-1, though, in favor of NiP. The bomb planted certainly buffers them a little bit more and actually gives them a chance to buy into this round, which they will, but this has been a problem for EnVyUs in the past. These constant force buys, when they're in an absolute lights-out form, sure, it does make sense and can actually get something out of it, but right now, with the sub coming in and still not at that peak right now, we'll see whether it amounts to anything. It's a Galil, 2 AKs, a Deagle, and a Tech 9. Forrest and Disco still on that double orb setup as well. Forrest may get a chance. He spots ahead. Doesn't punish the reface either, so for now, still going to be a 5-on-5.
Yeah, and this is peculiar 5-on-5, considering it's going to be 4 at long, and really no one's stabilizing mid at this point in time. It's going to be a Deagle heading back that direction in the hands of NBK. Forrest is watching it still, but likes to go away from it. Perhaps the time has gone so far that he would expect him to be toward the B tunnels, but now there's a little bit of contact out toward A and some utility thrown it long, and that'll pull him back in that direction. They have not really gained any ground against him, though. Flash out, headshot spotted. It's a foot instead that will get hit, but the second one's better. MBK falls, and ooh, behind the door, Happy just gets across before the bullet comes through. Meanwhile, it's Freiburg. Spray control, well, it's good enough for 1. He'll have to shuffle back as a flash comes through and out to take over his responsibility. The teammate beside him, I believe, Get Right. This is it. Exist, excuse me. Sixer finds him. Forrest falls to Happy. It's suddenly pulled back by EnVyUs as they try and work toward the A side. Freiburg's gone all the way onto the platform. He's just going to wait this out. He can allow them to walk up, force them to commit, and then play this potentially off of Disco if he can find the kill at Cat fast enough to come over and support. Happy's jumped up. Has Disco heard this? Crosshair placement looking at corner, but he flicks fast enough. And now Freiburg, well, it's Get Right instead, actually. It's going to find him in CT spawn. I was going to say has the chance to peek, but it's down to EnVyUs bomb in the hands of Kenny.
20 seconds remaining means his only option is to go towards B. The problem is Doppler is waiting, and it's a nice incendiary as well, so Kenny's going to have to run through that. Takes quite a lot of damage. 10 seconds remaining, and Freiburg will just have to listen out for him, though. Actually, that's a decent Molotov thrown by Kenny. Actually could get a plan out of this. Bomb does go down, but there it is. Fryberg faces at the right time, takes him down, and it's going to be 6-1 in favor of the Ninjas. No plant coming in. This will be another eco, surely, for EnVyUs. When I say surely, though, I say it with a little bit of worry, because you never know with these guys whether they actually go into it. But it's going to be Deagles this time, and 6 are just on the Glock as well. So next round they will get, oh yeah, no, 3rd stage loss bonus. So definitely can buy next round, but NiP getting a very convincing lead here in the first half. So round number 8, and they've got the auto sniper. Exist does like to build this weapon every now and then, especially when they have these huge leads. So it's the first kill. Starts paying off some of the debts for it. Fryberg holding towards long now. Happy comes out, does get taken down. Doppelin chimes in as well, and it's just going to be 6 remaining, and he will drop 7-1 for the Ninjas. So not a double orb setup here, but double sniper, orb, and the auto sniper for Exist.
Well, let's see if they can capitalize on this. The auto sniper CT side on a 7-1 lead for NiP over Team EnVyUs. And I have to comment on the fact they brought up on the desk that it's 10 out of 11 maps for NiP against EnVyUs. Hit the rewind button and go back to mid-2015, around the Star Ladder at June. Move that a little bit forward, carry that over toward Cluj. And guess what? EnVyUs was dominant against NiP. That was their hardest opponent. So how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. It's definitely probably the hardest fall from grace we've seen in CSGO ever, in terms of being Cluj champions and this being actually non-existent at most tournaments after that. But Doppelin out, he's going to be challenged towards short. Can hear them coming around. Surely going to face momentarily, does for MBK, and he thinks that reface is not worth it. It's probably the right call.
It is the right call. It's peculiar as to why he wasn't facing to begin with to try and get the shot, the jump on them. I guess the flash?
It's, yeah, you got the flash, and there's a chance of being pre-fired. Kenny comes around, Pika's advantage and all that.
Fair enough.
So it does make sense to it, but a lot of orbits will hold that angle. You're absolutely right.
You'd know all about Pika's advantage coming from source, wouldn't you?
Yep, it's very true.
Either way, Apex, he'll go for the drop strategy. Takes a little bit of damage on the way down, but he has pushed the CTs back, and they've gone for the wall at the top of the ramp to segregate, to isolate the players along, but that's not good enough. Fryberg finds a kill. Get Right picks another one up, but nevertheless, EnVyUs do pull back. 1 from Kenny, 1 from Happy. It's the auto sniper still from Exist, but it's over toward B. It needs to find shots through CT, and there's no need for them to go that direction. So instead, Forrest has to come up charged, but he doesn't do it. Happy's gonna take the drain out of the battery quite quickly, even though he only had 12 HP because he just held the angle. But the bomb's down, and that's why Exist has been waiting here the whole time. Just 1 bullet to land from that auto sniper, but Happy jumps down with the AWP, and the 12 HP will win the round.
That's insane. So Happy 2 versus 1 and 12 HP. Has to be very creative there to win the round. You thought Exist had it dead to rights there. Auto sniper, no less, watching the bomb. And Happy just flies down from the bomb site, lands on it, and nails him with the AWP. So very nice stuff from him. And a pretty crazy situation for him to actually come out on top on. But here we go then. 7-2 in favor of NiP. EnVyUs with a full investment into this round, still in a precarious situation. It's the auto sniper seems to, as soon as it comes out every time, I always say it seems to be the downfall for all these teams.
It seems like for NiP it's been the downfall, which is kind of odd because way back toward the old version of Train, where you could see all the way down from the 3rd alley down to A main along the same wall covering Ivy. There was no double box to prevent that. It was extremely successful for them, and Get Right was very good at CT spawn on Mirage when they had the one-way smoke and ticket booth.
Yeah, true.
Whenever Exist picks it up lately, though. Either way. AWP out this time for Kenny, AWP out this time for Disco. Disco, he'll play from car. They're not playing a direct support pattern off of him with the rifles, but they are in towards CT spawn. They're going for the firebox boost, actually.
Yeah, well, EnVyUs have controllers short as well. Doppelin he'll be holding towards crossover for now. Could be an execution potential here, but Kenny S looks like to be the one who'll be facing first. Apex actually setting up for a smoke as he's just lining something up. Now the flash goes over, he'll be going in first here, and actually lands the headshot as well. Exist goes down. Now it's up to Doppelin. But so much time available for EnVyUs. Don't have to commit at just a point. Smoke goes down, and it will be going in. And just trying to flash off Doppelin from having a chance of killing them as they cross the site. Surely Kenny will be going first here, but it's going to be MBK for now. For the timing.
Disco's got a slight gap to try and find the second player coming from quad. Meanwhile, Forrest is picking heads at elevator when they wrap around. But it leaves him vulnerable, it leaves him exposed, and it's Sixer, the sub, to take him down. Back to another 2 versus 2, and EnVyUs going to try and get a bomb plant on this one. Will be successful in doing so. Sixer going to play in the back of the smoke as well. NBK Doesn't have a flash to try and make him go aggressive, so they're just going to have to play this with a bait and switch crossfire onto Get Right, which is going to limit the options that Freiburg has, and he's actually rotating around. He's rotating off of this. They both have kits. He just wants to try and throw the skybox flash for Get Right, but that fails tremendously, and he's not in a position to try and capitalize quick, so now they've got another set pattern to try and stop him from crossing over, caught in the open, and Sixer will prevail in that battle as well.
All these tight situations seem to be falling in the hand of EnVyUs in the last few rounds. 7-3 now. Money's still just about available for NiP. It's starting to balance for EnVy as well. But 7-3, still quite a convincing lead. It was quite a nice idea there from Get Right and Forrest. So flashing from long, he knew players were there as well. The flash was actually successful. I think it was Sixer who got him blind. That was the forward to Get Right there. But going to round number 11. We'll see what kind of tactic is brought to the table. It's a very default play, but you can see Doplin, he's pushing off towards short. Looking lower B for now. Hasn't got much against him, but he's going to be Apex facing. Might be a little bit too low as, yeah, he does get spotted. He has to just crouch out of this situation now. So he's struggling as nades do start landing at his feet.
Disco. You miss every shot, you don't something fires through the wall. Sixer won't get caught by that. As they start to group toward long this time, they're going to try and push back Freiburg instead. And Disco's all the way at Goose as well. So they've got to commit a long way. And Freiburg, he's going to push forward, which is going to isolate him further in this situation. And playing this angle, he's pretty much got to come up with 2 kills. He has to win this duel in this situation this far forward. 1-for-1 trade just simply won't cut it, unfortunately. Bounce flash late, covers corner. Freiburg's position won't be caught by that. MBK chance to walk in. Okay, now there's the difference. Exist has come up to try and support. They check the angle. He wins that duel. This is where the trade has to come in. And Kenny, he's got it covered off as soon as Exist comes back around the corner. Disco now on the site trying to get a shot, trying to land something into where that pit sprays back out, rather, excuse me, strafes back out. Kenny gets him before Happy even needs to. Flash down, he'll drop cover off rotations, and guess what? It's going to be 4 rounds now for EnVyUs.
Yeah, definitely. Not really much you can do about this. Forrest does find one in CT spawn, but the bomb has been planted on the A side. So we get over CZ outside long. Round is definitely over, but if they can get some exit kills here and get right a weapon, it's something to take in the next round. The money has been completely eradicated now. So going to the next round, they'll be at third stage loss bonus to $2,400. Definitely can't buy. There's not going to be a chance to force, really. But if Forrest can step up with the M4, maybe something can happen there. And if Get Right can find a weapon, this going to boost their chances significantly. But EnVyUs seem to be focusing on this A side now, getting good long control. Kenny seems to be hitting all sorts of shots. He's coming out 8 for 9, so last few rounds have been a lot more beneficial for him.
Certainly has been. And not only that, did they avoid reset, they've strung some rounds together, and as we saw in that particular round, that NiP is struggling. With economy, Get Right will find an AK to bring over just at the end of the round, which is beneficial.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see what they decide to do here. They're going to have some upgraded pistols. I'd assume it's Get Right's dropped his CZ over towards Doplin. And Freiburg gets a deal. Exist yet to buy. He's going to be staying on the USP. Gets an HE grenade. See if he can do anything with that. Smoke comes in. No damage through the door like Kenny S. You can see the CTs are focusing towards long. 4 players out to be exact. They're waiting to see any sort of sound cues that a flash from Disco Doplin come in. But it's looking like a B-side attack from EnVyUs as they are sending 2 players towards lower B. Players in middle as well. As this forward Get Right is holding towards B with the AK-47.
And Get Right's going to wait on top of the box. They've mollied off the fence. He's played there in the past, Get Right. He definitely knows it's a possibility. Apex, meanwhile, will Molotov off the corner. So they're checking every possible angle, knowing that there's a chance they'll have 2 guns against them. Whether or not they know for sure Get Right got that AK is up for debate, but they won't chance it. As Exist goes to Goose. Do you know why it says Goose?
Do I know why it says Goose?
Yes.
It's because the guy who created the map called Dust 2 is called Goose.
Gooseman, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. As Apex, he's also, I think, one of the main developers at the start of the game as well. Apex going to get the kill onto Disco as the flash comes through. Not only that, Get Right. Okay, that's... Happy's smart, though. Happy knew he was there, and he just circles the smoke, waiting for him to show. They find out exactly where the rifles are. Not only that, they bring this to 5 rounds now, so the French side starting to roll. 7-1 was their scoreline. It's now a very different picture, and Forrest is going to be the one on the AWP this time, not Disco Doplin.
Well, yeah, when Forrest was very successful as well. He's had a decent half, to be fair. 15 kills and 5 deaths. There's been EnVyUs that have been working very well as a unit in the last 5. It has been 4 in a row for them, though. Forrest deciding to face towards middle. This is a dangerous game to play against Kenny S. But he has scared him off for now, so has potentially come out on top of that, I guess. As Kenny S works out what the next move is. Still going to be challenging toward that area, Forrest. Watching for anyone to come from the top of middle. For now, that's the full default. You can see them very defensively here. One watching upper B, one lower, two top of middle. And Happy holding towards those long doors. No aggression with the CTs, very default from both sides. Apex just sniffing towards the mid doors, seeing if anyone will be close. They'll probably be flashed down to check the close perimeter. They start grouping up now, all 5 towards middle. I guess it'll be more of the same, trying to get Apex that opening frag towards the A-bomb, so he has been pretty proficient so far. Flash goes over, he waits on the stack boxes faces, and only rails the headshot, to be fair.
Smoke's looking to be dropped. Bounced. Cover off the ramp. Exist. He's going to have to be the one to play in front of this. Smoke out as well, top of the ramp to cut off long, as we mentioned they've been doing. Has a big gap in it, though, big swing that have to be a wide peak from Disco. It doesn't really need to do so, because Exist, it's a clean shot into Apex. No one there to trade it, but down to 6 HP and wrapping back around. And not only that, burning alive. MBK is going to pick up the kill on Disco, but good shot by Freiburg. A panic at the Disco. A terrible band, but Freiburg with a decent round, at least until that point.
There he is. Happy.
Yeah, lurking in late. It's Freiburg, rather, and Forrest down and get right 1 versus 3. There's just one out toward mid, but that's not going to help him.
To be fair to Happy, he gets a lot of stick for this kind of play, but if he's winning rounds and if he's finding kills, and you can't really argue the results. Like we used to role a very similar role, and you can't argue with it sometimes. It feels lame to play against, and you say to him every single time, "That's all you do." If he does it every time, you should be locking it down and taking him out of the round. If it's winning key frags and rotations, and it's actually pretty beneficial for your team. And there's going to be 5 rounds in a row now for EnVyUs. Actually closing the gap significantly, but Freiburg with the scouts trying to take on Kenny S. That's going to be a dangerous game, and Apex finds 2 kills towards lower B there. 4 on 2 now exist, and Forrest, the last players remaining. Tested the eagle, and this is going to be EnVyUs tying things up here. This is anyone's game going into the second half. Considering the money situation as well, they have maximum loss bonus going to the next one, so they have a good healthy buy going to round number 15, but you feel like the lead they had, 7-1, has been somewhat thrown away. EnVyUs playing very well to get on those A-bomb sides, just trading frags very effectively, good defaults, and actually winning a lot of their clutch situations as well. There's 2-on-2s going in their favour towards latter stages.
Oh, either way, they're going to start to push out toward that long position. Exist getting the kill on Happy, that will slow it considerably. Good shot as well by Kenny, though, back through the smoke, and Exist gets caught. A secondary smoke will be landed at the top of Catwalk, cover off anything walking up that direction at least long enough to get the bomb down, and it's just Forrest with a scout that needs to try and get some damage in, if you will. But I mean, this went from 7-1 now to 7-7. Kenny with another drop shot coming in towards CT spawn. He's looking sharp again. So far, I think this season as well in Pro League, he's looked good throughout the course of it. It's been actually refreshing to see.
Yeah,
perhaps something that could fix their gameplay.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. I think Happy has as well, and we'll see whether this role adjustment does bring some life back into the EnVyUs. It's hard to gauge anything from this game. Obviously, 6 there in for Devil. It's not the permanent replacement or even the sub for the next LAN, but in terms of individual performances, yeah, for sure. Kenny's looking hot, but NiP, like we said, after going up 7-1, they haven't won a single round since then. Double orb set up to try and finish things off and win the half. Still a decent half for them, they do that. And Apex aggressive towards middle. This is getting out, and Exist not going to do anything about this.
Well, they've got Exist smoked off, but they don't account for Forrest. He's out by the boxes. He's exposed, therefore, in the radiation zone of middle that's now being toxified by EnVyUs. And MBK, meanwhile, will go down. Good jump, good movement mechanics from Exist. That allows one good kill on Kenny. It might be traded right away, but it also allows Get Right a chance to peek into it. A Disco, he's got the sight above the smoke, and they were pushing for mid. They pincered them in 8-7. NiP, though, we're up 7-1. So just to win that half by a single point.
Yeah. Yeah, they looked great at the start of the game. NiP, when the auto sniper came out and the clutch situations didn't start going their way. I think the swing of the game was when Exist lost the 1v1 and Happy with the bomb. It was on the crossover, you remember that?
Yeah,
that's when they started picking up some momentum, actually. So that was a huge round, and yeah, good performance from both teams at the half. NiP coming out on top 8-7, still could go either way. The pistol will be very important indeed.
Yep.
So I guess we'll see how that one pans out. We'll go for a quick break at half-time. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We welcome you back for halftime number 2, just 2. First game, remember they are individual games, not a best of 3/2. Either way, it's EnVyUs versus NiP, and both teams, I think, in need of some wins to continue on with the season. NiP trading with VP to open the season. They struggle to really convince me that they're dominant at this point.
The problem is both teams using a substitute in these big online games, so it's a little bit of a difficult result to gauge as to where it's going to go. It's been pretty evenly matched so far. You have to say NiP did have that huge lead. Are you
hearing what I'm hearing?
Yep, it's really hard to talk and that's going on. It's fine. And then, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this one goes. I think the pistol will be very influential indeed, and it's going to exist with the utility here. He's got a smoker 2 flashbang, same for Freiburg. He's actually got the Tech 9 to go with that. So 3 sets of armor, and we can see EnVyUs known to be very aggressive towards their CT sides. They've got 4 sets of armor, MBK with the kit and the HE grenade.
The smoke thrown spawn to mid. Cover off the doors, but it's not going to really affect where they head. It's long instead at Apex. Oh, good tag. Down to 3 HP. He's going to fade away from this as quick as possible. Try and stay alive. Freiburg, nearly gets the shot on him. Overlooks the fact that there's a second player there. And guess what? That means Apex can jump up, get boosted, get the headshot. And that's going to be a problematic situation for NiP, but they rectify it. They'll get a kill from Get right onto Kenny. Disco following up, but watch Happy inside of this smoke. He's going to try and time it with this bomb plant. Not go for the jump shot, but he does catch off Disco. Good timing as they know at least there's 2 on the site. Now 3 confirmed as he spots and jumps forest and the one toward Goose positioning. Secondary switches, they go for the reload, and Sixer pops back in. The stand-in needs to come up large, tries to stay alive, tries to bait it in for Happy just to give him the space and time to do so, and they work it well together. That's very good teamwork together. One peeking when the other's reloading and so on and so forth. Bait and switch constantly up the ramp.
Well, there it is. It's going to be EnVyUs retaking quite efficiently as well. I don't think NiP had a huge advantage going into that. The fast long take comes in. They get the initial pick as well, and the plant going down, but it's 6 and Happy staying alive and adding to their frag totals there. They will be picking things up and going to 8-8. And we'll see whether the force spike comes from NiP. I don't think it will. Obviously, AKs in the third is the preferred option, but a lot of teams have been experimenting with AKs in the second. Can be quite aggressive tactic to put out, but considering the game's so tight, it's not like they need something like that right now. So it's going to be the pretty much full eco a P250 purchase and 1 flashbang. That flash will be used to go over long momentarily. There it goes. And they'll be making their way out. Not going to be contested for now. The problem is, I think it's probably MBK or Kenny S with the scout on the side. They're actually going to speak Kenny S with the Tech 9. He's obviously saving for the AWP in the third. He knows the AKs are coming out, so trying to save some money here. A run boost coming in.
Yep.
Doesn't work out.
That's not enough speed. Bomb's not going across, so they try and
so
do the same thing.
disappointing when it doesn't work.
I know. Well, same thing. EnVyUs tried to get the bomb down in the second round, to be fair, but or third round, I guess, is where we joined in after the first 2 had already taken place and transpired. It's going to be Happy getting some shots out toward Pit. The nade instead will reach the same position, but far enough away that it doesn't do enough damage. In fact, none at all to Forrest. And Happy wants to go Happy hunting. Flash will allow him around the corner. Forrest not blind, will get the shot instead. UMP available, but be hard to go after at this point in time. Bomb not planted. They don't really need to just yet, but at the same time, If they finish up with kills, there's no way the guns are obviously saved in that sense. But if they don't and they plant, they've got to escape. There is a gun available at long. So good shot, finally. Not successful on that one. Goes to the pistol, and Sixer instead will go ahead and take the kill with the M4.
Nice work from EnVyUs.
Thanks, man.
And you as well. But Kenny S does have the option to get the AWP. He has $4,800. There it goes, which is actually a really nice response, considering he knows the AK is coming out in the third. Forrest has got an AWP. Okay, so he must have got enough kills on the pistol and the second round as well to actually give himself a glass cannon here. I don't think they'll be expecting that. Oh, he fires off the shot and actually gets the kill as well. MBK's refacing with the scout. Is that the right call? I don't think it is. That's there's such a high pressure at the moment. You have to hit a headshot. He hits your body, and he knows you're facing already. It's not like he's going to move off.
Well, you've given the advantage on an early buy to NiP by doing so, and Exist has come out from lower tunnels happy. Waiting for the flash to come through, the team flash to come through. And he's going to try and put himself in position. Instead, he sees the shadow walking in, and he free fires and goes for the AK. Nearly gets it drawn in time, but Disco, he'll win the duel instead. Kenny falls back slightly on Catwalk. But as all this goes on, it spreads the defense out considerably. No one to watch mid directly. And an off angle held behind the state. That's given up, though. That's a problem. Now Kenny with the crosshair placement does take Freiburg back. He had to hit that shot or show discipline in doing so. Because if they'd taken Kenny down, sights are open. Split as you like. Go wherever you please.
3-on-3. Kenny is getting one back in return. He'll be looking towards middle for now. That's where Get Right will be heading as well. They have got a smoke for CT spawn. That's got the hands of Disco Doppelin. Down it goes. And that means Kenny's position is always redundant now. You can see him just firing off a shot, hoping it lands. This puts Six in a lot of trouble here. The sub. With flashbang to work with here. Actually just aggressively push out. He knows he had to do something there. Was going to get split either way. So let's give his team the advantage now. And we'll just be playing a little bit more defensively. Get right across. Jumps across. No one landing any significant damage just yet. But Kenny, yes, there it is. Through the gap in the doors. Gives them an opportunity. Goes onto the 2v1 though. And Get Right certainly a player that can win these situations. Not done quite yet.
Sprays down. That's going to leave him in the open, leave him slightly vulnerable here as Apex doesn't choose to capitalize, though. That gives him a chance to try and catch Kenny, but unfortunately, 2 ops grabbed, saved, carried over, and EnVyUs will pick up their double-digit round. It'll be into the 10s. And the NiP will stay on just 8, despite the early buy, so it also means they're not going to have money to do so again this time. They will start to build a lost round bonus, but pistols at best.
Yeah, bomb down. But yeah, definitely not worth buying into this one. It's going to be the double orb setup now for EnVyUs. MBK and Kenny S going with those roles. Interesting not to see Happy joining in, but round number 4 comes in. This is just going to be PT50s at Deagle for Disco Doppelin. They have got a smoke as well, so maybe more the same. They smoke towards long crossover doors, long crossover corner, and there's Molotovs drop for the CTs as well. So this is pretty efficient stuff for them to lock out a rush. You can't see Exist has made it to blue bin, but Apex should clear up here. A lot of presence in front of him. It's going to be quite overwhelming considering that smoke is down as well, but Kenny S does come in to take 1 kill down. He's actually struggling himself as he goes on the 24 HP. Now 6, as he can't seem to land a shot. This could be interesting. 4 versus 2, up to 6er to try and perform from CT spawn.
Well, it's a problem. It's set to reserved position. There's only so much you can do, and running back up Exist shows exactly why that's the case. NBK, AWP slightly more fortuitous in this position. Legs up Freiburg, who goes for the bomb, and a nice little strafe jump back the other way will bring him back up to safety on top of the bomb site. So pistols for NiP, and they've actually done well in this situation. Exist has one of the 2 ops that EnVyUs started off with, and MBK is going to try and make this work coming up from Catwalk, but problem is, as he does this, a very clever play happening right now from Exist with that AWP. So all they have to do is contain him on this Catwalk, and as soon as he starts to retreat and save that AWP, Exist waiting, but misses, and MBK, low HP, is able to hit the shot. Now he tries to smell out exactly what else he can do to the economy in terms of finding kills against NiP, and Peek with pistols tries to go for the bang through the box. But MBK is going to have to eventually give up on this one, baited another shot out, and that's how it'll end.
Yeah, an interesting idea there from Exist. We thought he should have hit that shot. Had a lot of sound key going on, a lot of footsteps, but it's going to be MBK saving the AWP here. It's 10-9, and NiP do pull one back on the eco no less as well. You could see how much they were struggling, the CTs, when there was presence towards long. Overwhelmed in the pit was Apex. He got taken down there, and then one person from short getting the low HP player in return, who's Kenny S at the car area, who just couldn't seem to land more than 1 kill there. So still being available for the CTs, but not a huge amount. You can see Apex, he's on just a 5-7, 6 on a UMP. There are 2 AWPs out there, and Forrest takes one of them down. That's a great shot to kick things off from him. was actually towards those mid doors as well. NBK once again being bested by Forest. kennyS trying to do what he can though to return.
Get right finds Apex. Freiburg the top mid's gonna flash, so Exist can try and clear out these mid doors. You won't really need to. There's no one there as we see it, but of course, they don't know that. They now do. Sixer rotates back over. AWP grab, throws the UMP down. He's gonna try and peek out toward mid. Thinks better of it and goes to B instead so they can turtle up, but he's the obligation and responsibility of covering off both mid and B right now. As such, happy. He'll try and take some map control back and make that a little bit easier to evaluate for him, but instead, he's going to have problems as soon as he goes out. That box position, headshot position from Get Right, it works perfectly. They know EnVyUs' tactics. They know they're going to get aggressive eventually.
Yeah, they have to. They don't know. It's a 5-on-3. Someone needs to make something happen here. They're hoping that he can get backstabbed again from mid-play here, but still, the round isn't over. There's 2 orbs available for the remaining CTs here. Sixer and kennyS. But like kennyS alive as well. Anything could really happen. Maybe towards long, but fully flashed. Surely taken down here. The spray comes in and Get Right gets him. And it's going to be Sixer, the last player remaining. 5 versus 1. And it's a nice reply from NiP. This will put EnVyUs on towards the Nico here. If Six can save the orb, certainly something interesting come out of it. But now they're going to be aware of his position. I think they will go for the hunt here. You see a player quickly getting towards lower B. That will be Disco Doppler. And he'll catch him before he can get to T-spawn, sorry. Does get taken on eventually. He does get 1. But 10-10 now. NiP broken the economy of EnVyUs.
Yeah, quite quickly as well, considering that they lost on that 3rd round early buy, as we call it. Bomb down, terrorists can go for round 3 guns instead of 4.
Yeah.
But then winning the ensuing pistol has really brought this dead level a lot sooner than I would have expected and limited the economy that could have stretched out if that had gone poorly. And potentially had to buy, even losing the ensuing round, had to buy in this one. So they've done well to limit that in such as it's now going to be a drop down from Forest, pistols, Deagle for NBK plus armor. Deal as well for Apex, but the rest no armor at all to work with and no utility, no kits.
Yeah, well, NiP will be fully aware they've got absolutely nothing to play with going to this round. Maybe some upgraded pistols, that's about it. So at this point, it's work a default, try and work out if there's any stacks going on. They'll be facing towards mid. I think Exist has checked the right-hand side of mid doors there, so they know middle's going to be clear for them. Work towards short, do a similar sort of thing. Don't have to fully commit. Just push the CTs back. If there are any stacks available, just get the first kill and fall back. It's going to be Sixer waiting in the corner here. That PT-15 hands, and now he has to drop. They know that. They can fall back towards middle if they wanted to. Freiburg, he fancies the challenge here. Takes a little bit of damage. But like I said, back towards mid now. They've got some control of the situation. Happy to push in towards the B tunnels. Shows himself towards middle. And he's just waiting for the CTs to make mistakes at this point.
Forest just absolutely just waiting for a head to show as they start to head back the other side of the map instead. Dare not walk into any traps on the site, says NBK. Top double, goes for the Deagle, does land it as well. Get Right falls. He's trying to do what he can to further damage onto the NiP players going through. Disco's been tagged up. It's going to go down as well through the edge of the box, and he comes back around, and Sixer to come over and join it. This Deagle, it's causing all the problems. Forced to switch to a pistol to get a kill back, but look at EnVyUs, and look at NBK as he picks up 3 on the way through.
So NiP, they get the first few kills there. It's looking great, and they're running towards B, and it's going to be NBK with the Desert Eagles, locking them down. Headshots all over the place, and a big round for NiP to lose there, considering the situation. We thought it was looking very promising for them. But the EnVyUs Deagles can be very prevalent, and that's exactly why. It's round number 7 here. It's still anyone's game, 11-10. It's going to be Freiburg this time. Rarely seen with the orb. Did get flash, he had a decent spawn now. I'm sure he'll swap that weapon over. Give it to someone more proficient, whether it's going to be Doppler or Forest, but it looks like he wants to keep it for now. There it is, the swap over.
Yeah, so this will be the Xbox smoke. Or not. Thanks, Get Right. Make a liar out of me.
Well, you didn't have to do it. Once Doppler said there's no one middle, I guess it's just like, there's no point. No one's even
He just wanted to make a liar out of me.
Yeah.
Christopher. Forrest, though, does have the... I like how he's looking for the peak rather than the... Or the jump, like the information peak,
Yeah,
the jump
sure.
peak rather than anyone facing out. Meanwhile, does eventually give that up and then goes hunting instead. He finds Sixer in the site. He's in, though, and NBK caught in no man's land. He manages
Luckily
one
to
on
kill,
Exist. Yeah, exactly. Which will help them tremendously on this retake. Now 3 versus 3, but you always mention this, it's B site, it's hard to retake. You've really got to have your team structure down and a plan executed. The one thing that could help them in that is that Apex is coming around from T-spawn. And right now, it's Forrest way down on the spiral staircase that could get caught off by that as they're going to get behind him and segregate him from the bomb site. So effectively, it's 2 versus 2, maybe even a 3 versus 2. Is Apex going to bypass? No, Forrest finds him. That's huge, because now he gets into the mouth of the tunnels, knows he's alone in doing so, and he can just focus on holding off the other two, who, knowing it as well, that what that means, start to fade away.
Yeah, Apex, he almost snuck in there behind them. That could actually be really important, because Forrest obviously in lower B, he's telling the team himself, I've got the tunnels covered, it's all fine. He catches him just in the nick of time. That could have been 2 kills for Apex, and actually given him a real chance of winning that round. Doesn't happen, though. And NiP do bring things to 11-11. It's just going to be happy to save a weapon here. He's got an M4 in hand. That's all they really have to work with going to this one. They could force out FAMAS as they wanted to. I think there's some upgraded pistols will be the right call here going forward. So happy just in on with a rifle here. So NiP have thrown away these situations before, though. We saw it actually in the round before last. So what's the plan this time? It's Sixer only has the USP towards mid doors. Surely he's going to be the main target. They fire off shots towards the doors and don't actually land anything just yet.
Shots through. Sixer tagged down to 15. He'll get back around the corner in towards CT spawn. Apparently stays alive. MBK meanwhile
I feel
another
like he's going to kill someone.
Right?
Oh, okay.
Mistimed.
He's flicking it around for no real reason there.
It's something I would do. I played with Moses once. He made me unbind my quick switch key because I was always doing it.
Yeah, he actually probably wouldn't have got the kill, but the fact he's flicking his knife out just as they face, it's like, well, why did I do that?
Yeah. It's almost boredom setting in at that point in time, doing something to keep yourself occupied, keep your mind busy. But Get Right's going to find Apex coming back out from long. I'm down on B and no one occupying the site. No ground to walk on. It's going to be ninjas in pajamas that'll break wishing hour and bring themselves to 12. I know you like to make a wish.
I do. Every time. Well, Happy will be saving his M4. I guess it's important considering the circumstance. They're only going to get $1,900. So 2 players, it's going to be 600 Happy. 1,500 and 1,600. It's going to be difficult for them to buy, but like I said, Kenny, well, Happy's already got the weapon, so should be able to get something out of this. It just means Happy has to survive, and they're going to be hunting and spotting him, but it's a lovely shot from Happy, and we'll be taking this gun into the next round. But NiP have taken the lead for now here on Dust 2. It's the first map of this series, I guess, but we have got Nuke coming up next.
We do, yeah, and another night we see Nuke with NiP on that map, so I'm excited to see how that unfolds.
Well, they look decent with Doppler in the lineup.
Yeah, well, I'm curious to see what EnVyUs bring to that map as well. We're seeing it more and more in Pro League, which is encouraging, I think, and that has to do with the time that you kind of ban ahead of time, so you have time to prepare for it. I think a lot of teams will take the initiative to try and start learning it now. Seems a little late with Cologne already going by, but hey, maybe it will start to get the playtime it needs to be developed into a, a coal crushed into a diamond.
6 of the UMP. So the money's not awful for the CTs, but it's certainly not great. And NiP have got some great real estate at the start of the map. Or start of the round, I should say, to get out towards middle. Spotting towards spawn, and there is an open Kenny S, and he actually is watching the crossover. So if NiP don't smoke this, they don't that disco. That's a little bit sloppy. Definitely had the option to smoke it down, and it's going to be 2 kills for Kenny S. Almost gifted to him. Now the smoke comes down. It's a little bit too late, but Freiberg trying to do what he can. I think Kenny will kill him as he goes up the ramp as well. He needs to be very careful.
That's a nice shot, Freiberg, though. So Kenny not able to collect him yet as he gets the kill from low enough down, but Sixer, he gets Get Right. Exist. He's found Sixer in turn, and Happy does all the work. Kenny really never had to come into that. He gets 2 kills in the round, but as you were saying that he might find with the AWP, it all ensues inside of B, and we're back on 12s. Dead even back and forth, EnVyUs and NiP. We said they were both struggling at the start of the season, but also showing signs of fight. More so on EnVyUs' side, I said this is encouraging because we know the slump that they've been on.
Yeah, sure. Definitely. And it still doesn't help morale with one of your players that you're trying to get into a new role and make more comfortable with their intense and break in a big game. But still, an advantage here for EnVyUs as we go into round number 10. It's going to be 2 pistols in hand of NiP. It'll be Freiberg and Get Right, but they have got the open for us. So the round will be relying on him actually trying to find something here. But look at this aggressive play from Apex. Pushing the long doors here. Dare go any further. I doubt it for now, as NiP haven't really shown any presence on the map, and it's going to be Get Right just holding that flank for now.
Apex will go through the smoke that lands at long, thrown from the boxes at CT spawn. Get Right immediately will give up on trying to take over that real estate, that position, and they'll smoke the top part of Catwalk that allow them further entry toward quad. Not only that, the smokes on the ramp potentially allow for a drop. A second one at the top of CT ramp to cut off long. It's Kenny that needs to find them. 2 go down. 1 almost found, but blinded up in turn. He's stepping into flames. He's going low. It allows Exist to find the kill, but the lineup, it's only 1 from the M4 of Apex. Happy though, still waiting it. Goose, he's found the bomb. The default denial. And immediately after, Freiburg will fall, but Forrest, AWP holds angle down to 2 versus 2. Still a chance in this. Great peek from Forrest. Back up headshot on MBK, and he knows exactly where Sixer is, who in turn, well, I thought was going to go for the jump, but he doesn't know. Now here's where the second player is. So if he tries to make this jump, he could easily be spotted. In turn, he falls away. The smart play. Drag this out and see what unfolds. See if anyone slips up on the NiP side, specifically Forrest, remember, on 9 HP.
Yeah, well, he's had to come through City Spawn, and his options are very limited. Doesn't have the kit. A couple of flashbangs and no information as to where the remaining Ts are now.
He's hesitant as all can be to try and make a play out of this, and that's going to allow Get right around on him. Oh, the body, though. The corpse actually denies vision from both players. So exchange is met, but no killing. Sues, they'll try and resume this. Sixer's going to keep them on the side. He could actually, if he does so, keep Forrest from saving that op over to the next round. Regardless, it's going to be NiP, and Get right's going to get the kill, so that's not going to happen. Do they want the double op setup? Yes, they do.
Well, why not? They have got a huge lead. That's a difficult buy for NiP to actually win. It comes down to the 2 versus 1, and it's the sub of 4-6. They can't make it happen here. So the money has been broken once again. NiP getting very close now to picking up map number 1. Double op setup, as you said, on the T side, and they can do some damage at the start. Oh, the smoke available for the CT. So it's always good to throw the smoke down on these rounds. It means you can stack towards B if you do so wish. Not going to be the case this time. Forrest going towards B, getting the spotting player, and actually gets a double as well. That's round over at this point. Unfortunately for CT, he's retaking the bomb site when it's actually up against 5 players, fully equipped as well, and he's been smoked out of position, and they're holding all the flanks. It's almost impossible to do anything about this. The bomb will be planted momentarily. It's actually in T-spawn for now, and Exist just doing some more work. Happy and Apex, the last remaining players. And pretty efficient round from NiP. Not dropping a single frag yet, and Happy will be the last remaining player. He's in CT spawn for now, hoping that someone gets a little bit ahead of themselves and tries to hunt him towards the A side. But Exist, they'll be checking it, but it doesn't matter how much you check it. Happy will be ready for you. And maybe picking an AK here, but Disco takes him down. 14-12 for NiP.
Yep. Impressive, I have to say, to get these 2 rounds on the bounce. It limits the economy of EnVyUs, and they'll buy into this, but it's last effort. They're playing for win, not overtime at this point in time with this buy. And Kenny S will have the AWP. City side,
Yeah.
he's gotten kills, but he hasn't had the impact. He's definitely been isolated and limited in his positioning in so many ways. Tries to get the shot through Disco. Double op setup as well on this NiP side. They both hit the door, but come out empty in terms of damage dealt to anyone trying to cross on B.
Freiburg.
Oh, yeah. That could have been interesting. And not only that, with Freiburg going that far, it's actually misleading for Exist. He thinks, okay, you died. I'll go out and swing and try and get the trade. They never had the information the player was in pit. So EnVyUs, they're onto something here.
Yeah, it's definitely an all-in play from Freiburg. He thought he had an opportunity to go push through that smoke. He didn't think the CTs would be expecting it, but they definitely were. He was happy they took him down in Apex in the pit against the refrag as well. 5-on-3 now, but still the double orb setup for the T. So there's something to work with here. You can see there's no kit as well. The bomb was to be planted. That could make things interesting. Forrest has spotted a player cross into that tight left corner. Will he just walk in with the P250 and try and blow his head off? This could work. He's got no head armor, so this could be the right call. That's it. That's all he needed. Oh, the bullet's coming in, though. Does manage to avoid death, but Happy, he's waiting by the mid doors, and it's Get right. We discussed his decision-making process in some of these key situations, and just running out by himself in the mid doors. No one to back him up. That gives the frag away, and that's round over. It's going to be Forrest, the last player remaining. He's in T-spawn with the AWP. Can't do much about it.
And we could go the distance on this. There's a buy still to work with for NiP. They've got money. But at the same time, breakpoint either team. If they lose this, you're 14-14, and EnVyUs could suddenly actually snatch the map away. Get so close and yet so far for NiP in that sense. Forrest with the AWP this time is going to go for the fast drop down. Doesn't catch anyone crossing. A little bit late to the position. Didn't have a great spawn there. Hence the drop as well. He doesn't want anyone to try and peek him in return.
This is such a big round for both teams. This round defines the result of the game. Like you can see both teams, no one's got a loss bonus. Money's fully invested on either side. It's coming to the closing sectors as well. Whoever wins this potentially wins the whole game. So in terms of the economy, obviously some crazy stuff can go down, but like if you're talking about percentage chance winning the game, they have a much higher chance. Of course. But this is it, round number 13. Freiburg going up towards short. Actually, most of the teammates for NiP will be joining him. Smoked out for now. Will that delay that execution? They have got 3 smokes available with Molotov as well. It looks like it this be a straight up A-side push here, considering there's so many players towards that area.
Flashes over toward Catwalk, but 5 members of NiP in one position. And KennyS, oh, nearly through the smoke, finds one. That would have thwarted all plans from NiP before they even came to fruition, but drop-down smoke's enabled. They'll go for it. Kenny's on the side. If a Molotov came through, he'd be limited. He's going to try and wait this so when they get inside the smoke, he's got the lineup. Down goes Disco, but Freiburg, great job as he goes for the drop. Happy's in a weird, awkward position in the corner that they'll never think to look. And he does get spotted, but Happy still finds the kill on the headshot against Exist. But Freiburg, again, has to step up late. Does so, but Sixer, the stand-in, he's got 2. Force Freiburg go down. And NBK and Sixer left in a 1 versus 2. Molotov bounced on site to push them away, but one comes his direction as well. And Get Right, with this bomb down, is now limited, so it's equaled out. There'll be no peeking against the Molotov for Get Right, but MBK comes up with the NiP, or with the AWP,
the NiP.
to take down an NiP, excuse me.
Yeah, well,
we'll rename the gun.
Yeah, it was actually quite a nice idea from Get Right to throw the Molotov on the bomb. He knows it's going to buy him some time there, but it just gave EnVyUs a chance to recalculate and work out what was going on. MBK picked up the AWP, he knew his position as well. Like you said, that was a very cheeky position from Happy there. He managed to get a kill and the dink on towards Freiburg as well. Sixer coming in for the easy spray down. Like we said, that was a huge round for every team to pick up. The good news is that NiP got the bomb down, so it's not as devastating as I once speculated before, but still not great by any stretch. You can see they've got 4 Tech 9s and 1 Galil to start by getting that bomb down. It's bumped their chances a little bit more. But if they lose this round, it's going to be match point for EnVyUs and only $2,400 going in. So still, they're not going for the draw here. They're going for the win, NiP. Or say draw, maybe playing for overtime, I should say.
Well, Envy, with 2 rounds consecutively, as I mentioned, could steal this game away from NiP. Kenny is going to fall all the way down long. They'll play this passively. They don't want to give anything up early. We're seeing the addition of that 3rd smoke at the top of the ramp a lot tonight. And that seems to be something that every team's trying to isolate the player at pit and not even try and attack long. In that sense, they've got a player waiting to try and flank out Kenny as he's distracted, but meanwhile, it's Apex that comes back through smoke, finds one. Sixer follows it up into Freiburg. Forrest that found the kill for NiP, but there it is. Get Right, exactly that. Was waiting the whole time.
Perfect.
And Kenny gets caught, now bombed down. They've got a real chance with long covered.
And he's got the AWP in hand as well, so Get Right has a real chance to actually win this round for NiP. The retake starts to come in from the CTs, 2 towards short, 1's low HP as well. Forrest takes him down, that's Sixer, but MBK brings it into a 2-on-2. Get Right with his AWP, we said it would be big. He misses the first shot, and the flashbang comes from Happy, works perfectly.
No. Oh no, that's huge. And MBK gets Disco as well in the meantime. Get Right had to move up from long. They've got the defuse. They just barely exactly that because of where the bomb was planted, so it shows them too soon. And Envy, I thought that round was over as soon as Get Right won that battle. And Envy will put it on map point first.
And NiP do get the bomb down though. Very close stuff there. You saw Get Right. He was waiting towards long doors for so long there. His teammates trying to do what they could to bring enough distraction in. Actually worked out very nicely. Get Right gets the kill onto KennyS. He's waiting on the long platform there. Gets the AWP in hand, but like you said, the problem is he doesn't have the position control to play with there. The bomb's down for towards short. It's not like he can really assist him. He has to go a little bit more aggressive. Happy, very intelligent stuff as usual. Flashes through the smoke and it makes things a complete nightmare. MBK finishing it off, so we go into round number 15 here. It has gone the full distance. EnVyUs could close it out right now. Take the first map. NiP could take us to overtime. Considering we have a double AWP set up from EnVyUs, I'm going to say they've got the huge advantage here. Freiburg just with the Tech 9. Get Right with the Galil. Going to be focusing towards long. That's what the bomb is for now. And looks like almost mirror of what we saw last round with Get Right. He was lurking towards long by himself. This time, majority of the teammates will be towards long. KennyS is watching. Oh god, this is horrible timing if it doesn't work out. Oh, okay. All godlike.
He tried that last time and just missed the shot in the smoke. This time he prevails, but Get Right will pull back onto Apex, which kind of evens it out. Not only that, look at the position long from NiP. Get Right finds him, being pushed back behind the box, and Happy, limited to CT spawn, will smoke his way up to find a head, potentially, of anyone wrapping around from quad, but Get Right doesn't ever expose himself. And Forrest, safe plant, top platform, coverable from the long platform. That's key in this. However, Get Right needs to bring the AWP back in that direction. He's up toward the site right now, not down toward pit. Meanwhile, NBK on catwalk so far, trying to find the shot. Second player toward elevator. Forrest, he's the one that's going to figure out the sound cue onto this. Shots coming through, get right down already. AWP gone. They've got the kills, but Exist is trying to flank them back. Disco just needs to distract. It works out perfectly as Exist finds one. He needs to stay alive. NBK back over to the AK, taps it out, tries to find the opening. He's got the shot on Exist. It's low HP at long, but he's got to hold this down. He's going to try to. No, he gets off it and Disco exposes. Does he have the time, though?
No.
I think he just might. No, he doesn't. Oh, my God, that was close. So it's overtime for NiP and EnVyUs.
Comes right down to the wire there. NBK in a horrible 2v1. He's got a player along. Exist coming up short as well. Crazy scenes, but NiP just about do it. Could have gone either way on a knife edge there. Very exciting way to finish it. And yeah, we said this game could go either way, and certainly it's proving to be that. As we go into overtime, I'm assuming this is MR3 10K.
I would expect so, yes. I mean, that's usually, I think we've had, well, yeah, we have had an overtime. Actually, NiP's had an overtime this year already against Virtus Pro on Overpass, so we've seen it before. It was MR3 10K, by the way, just to clarify.
Yeah.
What a back and forth affair at the end of this game, though. Neither team giving an inch. Rounds that look like they're going one way, swing the other. And EnVyUs, they look like they steal it away in terms of economy, and NiP managed to force out another round.
They kept getting those bombs down towards the end there. Like the buys were not working out for them, but getting the bomb planted actually just gave them enough for the next round. The next round, grinding it out, and some good rotations as well. That's Exist coming from the short this time and managed to prevail. You see Kenny struggling on the A side as well. He was so isolated. All the smoke's going down. Players coming in from left, right, and center. I'm sure the overtime will start momentarily. We'll have a look at the score charts. Well, we can't anymore. The score gets reset.
Resets with the halftime config that the ESL client runs. Everyone's had their moments. I think even Sixers had. He was quiet early on, but even he had the 1v3. Well, it was a 2v3, but he basically got all 3 kills as they retook onto the A site, walking up from ramp. So a lot of A action as well from NiP's T side. We didn't see a lot of B at all, really, from them. And when we did, it was a deagle from MBK that shut them down.
Well, then. NiP will be staying on the T side here, of course. It will be up to EnVyUs to try and do what they can on the CT side. Their money has been a little bit of a problem in the earlier stages, but that won't be a problem going into this one. We saw it at Assembly when we tried to run the whole 16K. I think on Dust 2, how broken that could be. Obviously, everyone wants the overtime to be just about the gun rounds and the pure skill of the full approaches here, but that's definitely something that needs to be looked at. Dust 2 was a bit of an issue.
Yeah, it definitely was in last.
5 order snipers.
Yeah, exactly that. So anyone who didn't see it at Asus ROG Assembly Summer, which was at the start of the month, it was first weekend of August. They ran an MR3 16K, which seems great because if you lose 2 rounds in a row on, well, either side really, in overtime on 10K, you have to save the 3rd round, which kind of limits the point of the overtime. The hands-up brawl kind of takes the excitement of it when you see that happen. So it seemed like a great idea in the fact that you could always be buying. The problem was on Dust 2 in particular, you could buy auto snipers and then swap them out. So you got a huge, huge advantage being on the T side, spraying down mid.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, none of that. This one is going to be MR3 10K. We get into it. It's going to be the double orb setup for the CTs. Kenny has an MBK this time, and single orb on Forest. So we'll see if any damage has been inflicted. It has not. We're going to a full D4 here for NiP, and it's not a very aggressive round from EnVyUs either. And I'm happy towards CD spawn, 6 holding middle, and Apex just getting towards those closed long doors once again. Exist does get the smoke from Get Right towards Xbox, so this gives them a chance to feel out the map a little bit more. No one with heavy presence towards middle this time, so the flash comes in and gives a chance for Exist to just scout out the close range quarters, and Happy will just be listening from the CT boxer.
Freiburg will probe out catwalk, so pretty straightforward default. The one thing is that Happy coming out this far in middle, if they were to hit A, which they're not prepared to do, to be fair, they could isolate him in CT spawn, which makes the drop even more potent in the fact that Kenny would be isolated. Apex not peeking to support at all so far. He's just watching long, as he should be at this point in time. So here we go. Smoke's down. Inside CT toward Firebox. That's where Happy is at this point in time. How does he react when they do go? And it's going to actually be the fake out toward middle. He's going to cut them off. Freiburg walks right into it, and MBK finds the first kill with the AWP. A swing. Happy's got that as well, and an aid on top of the bomb will do slight, just slight damage onto Exist. Sixers followed up in a get right, and that is a slaughter from EnVyUs as they hold off every possible angle that NiP tries to sell them.
Everyone hitting their shots as well. MBK and Happy finding orb kills. Very promising for them. NiP didn't really get going in that round. They got control of short and towards middle, but as soon as they showed themselves and committed, it's completely mowed down there, and it's going to be round number 1 of every time going in favor of EnVyUs. We'll see what NiP can do in number 2 here, as they do get the orb once again for Forest. More of the same, it seems. Up Forest actually got the bomb and T-spawn. So you can't feel like they'll be committing or using any spawns. It's pretty much exactly the same round we saw before. I'm sure that smoke will get down towards Xbox in a second. There it is. And it'll be more the same. Exist gets flashed in by Freiburg. He checks out towards middle. And they can see whether they can have a more promising result. Round number 2.
Flash off, Kenny.
I like this setup.
Preemptive strike, yep. It is evaded and switch, and it works out perfectly. Kenny not playing in the traditional AWP spot. He's been using this ledge so far instead, but Forest is now aware of it. That is desperately close. Just over the shoulder of Forest. As it's a man down on the EnVyUs side, it would have brought them dead level and potentially shut down NiP's push to the site. Meanwhile, it's a Molotov instead that will force Kenny back into the ramp. That leaves him in the exposed to get right, but what a shot from the AWP, and he's pulling it back. Exist gets caught as well. Over the flames, nearly finds another, but it's Sixer instead, who stood in quite well, I have to say. But great shot, Forest. Here's NBK coming, goes directly against him, and the pistol can't prevail. He's still got a chance. He's got the bomb in 44 seconds. Over toward B, or at least toward middle, is the plan at this point in time.
That actually just stops the rotation from Sixer happening as well. It's quite a nice Molotov going in. So he's going to be Forest just booking it towards the B site. And now you have to feel like MBK overcommitted in that situation as well. Before he'd actually shown himself going towards that A side. It's MBK coming out with the knife, and then the plan comes in. Sixer versus Forest. And Sixer so far removed from this one, isn't he? He's actually in the long doors. He's still got to go all the way towards middle and the side as well.
I would have expected if he was going to push down long and not be able to rotate, at least get to mid. And now you're right, he's got so far to go. He's already lost 5 seconds, 6 seconds, a little bit more than that by the time he gets there. He does have the kit to work with. Flash goes through Forest. Knows he's at least at doors, but is he going to come through them? Smoke goes in, Forest peeks out, and Sixer hits the shot. He's going to get the defuse. It'll be back-to-back rounds for EnVyUs.
Considering his position, I thought he had no chance of winning that one. He smokes on top of the bomb, assuming the Flores would be towards tunnels, but Flores is low HP, decides to phase, trying to get a surprise play on him, and this was lovely from Kenny S. You can see, it's good to see when he's so confident. He wants to go for the crazy shots. This one especially, I thought, okay, he's going to hit it. Didn't get the third, but he did the hard work at that point. It will be 2-0 for EnVyUs here in overtime. Get right. He's only got the Tech 9 going to this one, so that's the discussion we had before with the economy on the MR3 10K. Disco Doppler, though, he's got the orb. It's glass cannon.
MBK. AWP looking out at middle. That's one of two. The other one in Kenny's hands again. Not surprising, but Get Right limited to Tech 9. As you say, the bomb down T side, great. That kind of throws out what I was saying about the saving out of the window, but you can still see the effect it has as Get Right. He's going to have to try and lurk late to grab a gun from either a deceased teammate or a victim, if you can find one. It's Kenny. Same angle, nearly gets the headshot that time as well. He's certainly tempting fate with that position, and he's nearly pulling it off time and time again. He's got 2 so far from there, and both of them have been reasonably high impact kills in that sense.
3 players for NiP towards middle now, but Happy just using those flames as cover. As Get Right decides to try and face. He's only got the Tech 9 as well. There's not really much he can do with it. The spray comes in, but somehow Exist finds Happy, and now it is the advantage for them, but still struggling with the firepower. Sixer goes towards upper B. MBK finding a shot and Exist as well, and there's just orb shots all over the place. Kenny S coming out on top, though. 3 versus 3, and Sixer is about to be presented with 2 NiP players in the bomb as they make their way towards the B side. He's looking the wrong way as well.
Apex trying to cut them off. So they can't join in with their teammates. That'll allow Sixer a better chance, but he only gets the one on Freiburg, who now has to hold the doors to allow his teammate to get there. Not only that, he's got a cross with bomb against Kenny. Pre-fires it, teammate baits it out, and Kenny, he's dead on as always. He's got Disco down, second shot, and Kenny will not fail. He's gotten all 3 rounds for his team. Well, not him alone, let's say, but either way, it's EnVyUs to pick up all 3 on the CT side. It goes 18-15, NiP not even in it yet.
Yeah, a lot of pressure for the Swedes now. Going up against EnVyUs with the last-minute substitution as well. But it's Kenny S, especially, he's the hero of overtime. Every chance he had, he's taking multiple frags down with him, even when they had the man disadvantage as well. That round was no different. Retake comes in, and Six, I felt like there was a bit of a communication issue there because Kenny was actually looking towards the window and door area from CT Spawn. He wasn't smoked either, and Sixer was just looking towards the window. Does manage to take one down with him. Wasn't a huge deal in the end. But 3-0. So that just means EnVyUs on the T side now just need one round to close us 2 out. NiP need another 3-0 just to take us to overtime once again.
Yeah, 3 in a row. Big ask right now on EnVyUs. They've got momentum on their side. And seemingly in this overtime, they've got Kenny S on their side.
Yeah, we discussed his form at the moment. It seems like he is finding confidence once again and actually looking comfortable in terms of like the role refreshment of the team. That's what they said. They weren't going to change lineup. They're just going to address the problems they currently have. And you have to say, Happy especially, he looks more comfortable. He's actually finding frags, and he wants to be the one using his brain and having this kind of freedom to do what he wants. And it's actually being very beneficial for them in the big gun rounds. He's getting himself in key situations. And here we go then, EnVyUs on the T side. As I said, one round will do it.
One round will do it. And Kenny, prime spot to get that shot at mid.
35 kills.
That's pretty nuts as well. That is an interesting statistic on its own right. 30 though on the other side for EnVyUs. Top fragger, Kenny tries to fire down mid. He is on 28 himself, but it's Happy that leads the way. He's the man with 30. So one player, 2 players get across, and a third tempting behind the doorway right now in the form of Exist, dodging out flashes and Forest. Quick peek to check the tunnels. Well, he wants the information early enough to know if they should put some more pressure on mid or NB itself. Very standard default right now from EnVyUs as they just cover off these positions and try and catch NiP looking.
Oh yeah, they smoke towards mid doors, working up towards shore. We know they have these AXQs in the back pocket. See how effective they can be in overtime here. Doppler and Freiberg. There's actually no one towards the A side for now. And the AWP is firmly fixated towards long A. So if EnVyUs did one of those fast executions, it's going to be a long retake for NiP. It's high risk right now. And the smokes are going to start coming in towards CT Spawn. And Happy's doing a decent job, lurking as usual towards the B side of the map, holding those players on that side. And here comes the execution.
Smoke again, top ramp. We're seeing it pretty much every round tonight.
He's Happy.
Up to him to find anyone who wants to get catwalk back. Interestingly enough, they're still going to bring Kenny out to that position as well to watch for the AWP.
So he takes the first shot, even if he misses it. Happy's there for the refight. And now this is so hard for NiP. They have the man advantage short, but there's so much work to do here. Bomb down for short. Sixer on the bomb side as well, getting baited in by his teammates, and NBK gets the first frag. And Sixer should be able to spray both of them down here.
That's a problem because he doesn't, and it leaves Forrest alive, who finds 2. It gives Disco a chance, but he can't find the first shot. He's got to go back and confront Kenny. It's planted for him and goes for the nade instead. That's the wrong call, and EnVyUs will take the game. 4 straight rounds in overtime against NiP. A pretty impressive performance, I have to say, in that regard.
Yeah, and overtime was fantastic, especially Kenny S. just stepping up every single round, nailing every shot, flick shots, no scopes, all sorts going on there. And the final round there, it seemed like NiP went all in that kind of setup. They were focusing heavily towards long, and it was Doppler who was towards the long doors, Freiberg not far behind him as well. EnVyUs went for the standard A take and couldn't really do too much on the retake, even though NiP got the first frag. Short plan was down, their players are short, smoking them out as well. The retake having to come from CT Spawn. Looked like a difficult procedure for them. It's 4-0 in overtime for EnVyUs.
And a long, long time ago, but I can still remember that was NiP 7-1 to start that game as well. So another issue. VP took a game off them in overtime. They lose one here. We'll see if the desk still remembers all the details because there's lots of them in a game like that.
Thanks very much, Matt. Indeed, yes. We're going to have to rack our brains to understand and kind of put into perspective Envy beating NiP. Now, we prefaced our discussion actually by saying that NiP have an incredible track record versus the French side Envy. 10-1 it was actually at this point in time. Now they've got their second win under their belt, first for Dust 2. And it was quite the grind. The way they started it, I mean, Matt's right? NiP had a very solid start, and Envy go and take it into OT. Kenny, in particular, an influence.
Well, I don't think you can really skip past Sixer either. He had a massive bit of impact into the,
the squeaky chair, sorry.
Yeah, Sixer's had a massive impact. And also, NiP losing several, 4-on-2s, these situations that you shouldn't really lose in these. They were on quite a regular basis. And whether it be from individuals having quite big impact moments or just them playing it incorrectly is up for debate.
I mean, that Sixer 1v1 where he was at long when the bomb went down on B, like that, like I watched that saying that he shouldn't even win that ever.
Yeah.
And he still proceeds. Can you explain what happened there? There you go, that's fun.
Don't make him do that.
Well, he ran in, he threw a bad flash, bad smoke, and still clutch.
Sometimes CS, you're just inexplicable, Alex.
Okay.
Weird stuff happens.
Okay. And the weird stuff did happen here, but I mean, you have to give Envy some credit here,
Of course. I mean, we were talking in the pregame that it had to be individuals stepping up for Envy more than anything else, and that was true to an extent. Kenny had a couple of really impactful frags, but I think it was a team effort across the board, and as you said, it was a real grind. There were a lot of, after plan situations, 2v2s, 3v3s, 2v3s, a bunch of those, and most of them went Envy's way, and you can't really even say that it was luck. I think that they just played better in those situations.
I am glad the 6 had turned up, though. That was something. That was a relief.
I think a prime example is that if you look back, it was around round 13 where you had that A hit, the infamous A hit, the kind of NiP one, bring enough of Cat, smoke in, Molly's in, everyone gets pushed out, and then Sixer still hits like this double kill that just came out of nowhere, and it suddenly opens up this huge situation for a perfect retake. They actually built back into it, and as I said, individuals turned it, and then they just kept winning those retakes and kept unraveling the crossfires that NiP tried to set up, but never seemed to be that robust in those moments. Even though you give credit towards the likes of Kenny and Sixer and all the others, Forrest was doing what he could there. He had a blistering regular time performance, and even then in overtime, he did lose that 1v1 at the end towards, it was Sixer just jumping in as you do. But he did get, I think it was 4 kills leading up to that, or even 3, I'm not too sure. But again, Forrest had the big play, but no one else seemed to be able to back him up on that.
I think that maybe that's where the criticism then is directed. It is towards just the individuals of NiP. But overall, I think this is just going to be more of a highlight for Envy as opposed to a low light for NiP. An overtime victory in the first map of the series. You do actually get to see them on Nuke, which I'm sure will be an interesting endeavor. I do just want to quickly talk about the B bomb site on Dust 2, just because you're talking about Forrest kind of trying to hold it as best he possibly could. Now, something that I always find interesting when casters talk about it is when the bomb does go down and it's after plant, same numbers. CT's retaking B, it seems to be would you say it's the hardest site to retake in CS?
I wouldn't say it's the hardest. I mean, it always depends on a number of factors, but it is pretty hard. Depends on the numbers as well. So you want to finish the question.
The scenario is, okay, let's have an example. It's 3 versus 3. The Ts have full control of the site. They have utility left, so do the CTs. 2 are in CT, 1's coming from tunnels. So that's the scenario we see over and over again. And I feel like more often than not, the T side should win that if they've had good after plant positions. You're frowning, Lauren. What's wrong?
I think it comes down to you can't just simply put it into that aspect. I think it's a lot to do with who's retaking, who's holding what positions have they got away with, what information do they have, what weaponry do they have, what timing does the CT have on the retake, what positions do they take. I think it's too up in the air. I don't think it's the hardest site in the world.
What is the hardest site?
Inferno is one of them. If you look at even just entering Inferno, if you're going towards A, there's so many angles. Let's go through apps. Try and play through apps at any occasion. You've got about 7 different angles. Run up quad at one point. There's so many different maps you could look at. They're incredibly hard to retake just because of the different angles you have to look at.
So you both disagree with the statement that Dust 2B is hard to retake?
No, it is hard.
It is hard. I just don't think it's the hardest.
I think it depends on the utility, right? If you have a couple of flashes and a smoke, if you throw them properly, we saw it in the game yesterday on Dust 2. It was NiP. I can't really remember which game it was on Dust 2, but a team, I think it was Fnatic Mouse. Yeah, it was Fnatic Mouse, and Fnatic was going for these retakes. Mouse gets control of the bomb site, like you say, 3v3 or 4v4 even. But they always threw a perfect flash for the retake, which left all of Mouse Sports' players blind in the bomb site. Now, if you can pull off something like that, obviously makes it a lot easier to go for the retake. Not every time will you have the flash, and not all of the teams know how to throw a good flash for retake, because either they're a bit lazy, didn't practice it. Yeah, that's all a matter of practice. So I think it depends on the situation, but more than anything else on utility.
Just quickly, Lauren.
Yeah, I think if you want to see the hardest site, be on Nuke after someone's set up. Like, CT's trying to play back into the B site if the T's get any sort of positions. There's so many angles you literally can't work through. So again.
That is a beautiful segue, because that's the next map. Nuke is coming up next to go between the same 2 teams. We're going to be seeing how that does play out. But if you did just join us and you're wondering how on earth did Envy win that Dust 2 game, and did it go to OT? Who performed? You want to see the scoreboard? You want to see all those details? You can find it on the Score Esports application on iOS and Google Play. You go find that, and when we do return, we're going to be bringing you Nuke, the final map here of our day of CS.
Nailed it.